Experts are still seeing a continued increase in daily COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila. Analysis from the OCTA Research Group shows new daily cases in the region averaged more than 3,600 over the past week. That is 62% higher compared to the previous week. Occupancy rates for COVID-19 hospital beds and intensive care units are also nearing the critical level of 70%. The health department is posting record high numbers. Active cases reached another all-time high at more than 91,000. The death toll has breached the 13,000 mark. New cases as of Thursday were at 6,666. Now let's talk to the OCTA Research Fellow, Professor Guido David. Professor, good morning. Thanks for taking our call.
Yes, hi. Good morning, Ria.
Now, Professor, we've been seeing a high number of new cases since the weekend. Pero itong last 2 days compared to the 8,019 recorded on Monday, at least it's a little lower. Is the NCR plus bubble imposed by the government helping or not?
Well, Ria, it's too early to say right now. We normally expect dips in numbers on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. This is actually a weekly pattern, and we would expect the numbers to increase again today. So I hope they will not be scary numbers today, but our projections were that they could reach up to 10,000 cases per day by end of March. So hopefully we will not reach those numbers because of the imposed NCR plus bubble.
Professor, you mentioned that traditionally on Tuesdays and Wednesdays the numbers dip. What's the reason for that?
Those are usually the numbers that have been processed from weekend testing, and testing during weekends is usually lower compared to weekdays.
I see. Now, the NCR plus bubble, this is scheduled to end on April 4. Do you think it should be extended?
Well, our position is that we should give it a chance. We would like to see what the changes in the trends are. For example, the decrease in the reproduction number. We're hoping to see that. Right now in NCR, the reproduction number is around 2. It's actually 1.99 as we measured it. And if it decreases after 2 weeks to around 1.5, that means we are probably on track for a decrease if we extend it further. Of course, the government is actually hoping that it would decrease to around 1. Not saying it's impossible, but it seems very unlikely given the history. When we look at back in August, it took us 4 weeks to decrease the reproduction number from 1.7 down to 1 during MECQ.
Now, let's talk about what happens after April 4. Are we going to see a further increase after that date? And if so, when do you think cases in Metro Manila will peak?
Well, if it follows last year's pattern, and even following last year's pattern is a little bit optimistic, but if we go by that, then it would peak at around 6,200 cases sometime, mid-April, before April 15th. And then it could go on a downward trend. But I mean, this scenario is a little optimistic because the decrease in mobility may not be as much as it was last year in August. But again, there's the factor of Holy Week, and it might change the trends, and that's what we're hoping to happen. And again, we will probably know by next week if this bubble is having a big effect on the trend or just a small effect.
Right. Now, with the way that things are going, when will we finally see the number of cases going down? Is it too early to say?
Yeah, it's too early to say, but we will have to have a sustained sort of trend here, and that means after April 4, if we're not seeing the numbers go down yet, and we open up again, I mean, it's going to go back to the way things were, last week or 2 weeks ago. So if the government really has to think or plan its strategy carefully. And I know we're expecting a big number of vaccines next quarter, but they're not here yet. I mean, once they're here and we start deploying vaccines, that will definitely be a game changer and will definitely help us reduce the numbers. So hopefully, sooner rather than later.
Yes, if they are able to carry out that simultaneous rollout they've been talking about. So, Professor, are you in favor of extending the NCR plus bubble and hard GCQ?
Again, we'll have to see the numbers, but if we are trending in the right direction, but we haven't reduced the reproduction number to less than 1, then I believe that would be our position. If the numbers are not decreasing fast enough, we may even need to impose additional restrictions.
Right, so we need to watch that reproduction number. Now, in your report, you mentioned that the number of cases is going up as well in the provinces of Batangas and Pampanga, and these provinces, geographically are adjacent to the NCR plus bubble. By how much is the infection rate going up in those areas?
I don't have the reproduction number there, but at least the number of cases, for example, Batangas recorded 150 new cases per day this past week compared to 62. So that is a 141% increase, and that's actually very significant. That's a big increase. That increase is even bigger than some of the increases seen in the bubble provinces. For example, Laguna only increased 53%. And soon, the number of cases in Batangas may be the same as in Laguna, which is, in part of the bubble. So I think we have to watch these carefully, and we may have to reconsider, expanding the bubble if the numbers continue to increase in Batangas and Pampanga.
That's right. We need to watch that as well. Thank you so much for your time this morning, OCTA Research Fellow, Professor Guido David.